Cancer. So, I want to draw from the Dragon Oracle cards today. Let me kind of like scoop you up. Okay. I felt really called to do this. I actually did your reading yesterday and felt like the energy was kind of off. Might just be me, might just have been me not really being in the right headspace. It's not that the reading was bad at all. It was actually like pretty positive, but I felt like I don't know, I just wasn't getting like a super clear message. But I wanted to tell you today that I feel like Cancers have a lot of strong guide energy around them right now. And this is a love reading, so this is especially around love. And so we have, this is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, by the way. It's a love reading for February. This is the Green Dragon. It helps you tune into the secrets of nature, receive answers and guidance from nature, align with your divine essence. So, you know, anything to do with nature right now, you have some nature spirits around you, apparently. And some of you might be focusing on like fertility. That's kind of like what's coming through with that. Cancers to me are like the earth signs of the water signs. Very concerned with the home and fertility and things like that. Some of you might be like, no thanks. But let's do a cleanse, little cleansing shuffle on these. Some of these are flipped over. I definitely have like a lower energy than I did yesterday. Not like a lower vibration, but I did the Gemini reading and I felt like I was just like screaming after. And now I sound very different. That's something that happens with some of the signs. Like I'll pick up on the energy so much. I have a Sagittarius Mercury, which is mutable, and I feel like I will be like really heavily influenced by, oh look at that. The only one that's turned over is the Lovers in this shuffle, so kind of interesting. But yeah, I feel like I'm like really affected by energies in the way that I inflect, and so I have to like center to be able to talk like myself again. But I don't know. Maybe I don't have like a super strong voice anyway. But it's funny, like my energy with the Gemini reading was like up to 100, and I feel like I've dialed back to like a 15 for your reading. Okay, so let's get 2 more cards for general energies, like general energies for the month of February in love. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we have 4 cards because these came out together. There is an ending and a beginning here, and this is an energy that is being shared with a lot of signs right now. I don't remember who it was that also had a lot of 5 of Cups energy, but I said to them, like, you know, the 5 of Cups and the 8 of Cups are very different energies of loss. The 8 of Cups doesn't even necessarily regard what it's walking away from as a loss. It's kind of like yeah, it's a loss of your time and your energy or whatever, but it's like this person considers leaving these cups behind sad. It's kind of like a sad energy, but it's like I'm taking what I learned here and moving along with it. And like I know, like being the bigger person or just like having the wisdom to be able to know to walk away is important with this card. And I said in that reading, I don't remember what sign it was, that the Eight of Cups and the Five of Cups are very different energies. The Five of Cups is like a lingering, so you realize that something isn't working anymore and you go the Five of Cups direction, or you go the Eight of Cups direction. So I think maybe for some of you, like, you're kind of struggling between those two energies. Like, are you gonna hang on to this thing? And Cancer does tend to hang on to it. And Cancer does tend to say, like, I'm not letting this go. I'm really mad that I invested in this and it's not going anywhere. I mean, this is such a watery reading too. It's very much aligned with the Cancer energy. We have Queen of Pentacles here. I think some of you guys are being really stubborn. Cancer placements are so stubborn. Like, totally unyielding. Which is not a bad thing. Definitely. But it can be. Yeah. Yep. So we have the Ten of Swords. It popped out reversed, which would indicate like a refusal to let go. I didn't pay attention to the order in which these came out. Yes, I did. It was the Lovers, okay? So just like affirming that there is like an energy of relationships. And then we had the Five of Cups come out, so I put these in the wrong order over here. This one's like hiding behind the Ace, by the way, if you're like looking. And then it was the Five of Cups, and then it was the Eight and the Ace, right? Yeah, I think so. But I would read it that way anyway, because basically what it's saying is when you decide to get up and walk away and let it go, this reversed, something else is gonna come to you. This Ace of Cups is a new opportunity, a new love, healing, even fertility. Okay. Yep. Oh my god. I'm throwing stuff. So we have the Four of Pentacles and the Four of Wands, which is an energy that is coming up in a lot of the readings, the Four of Wands already. It's just talking about harmony. So there's a lot of talk about personal harmony, security, harmony, especially within the home. I mean, the Four of Wands, these are all very Cancerian energies to me. And the Four of Pentacles is associated with the Capricorn sun. And so that's the opposite of whatever Cancer placement you have. This is on the opposite end of the spectrum. And it's about embodying. Oh, you know what? I mixed it up. This is a Six of Pentacles. That's interesting. See, okay, so this is a Six of Pentacles. And this is a Four of Wands. So this is about a similar thing. It's like withholding and being more generous with what you're giving. And it's funny that I thought that was the Four. And I think the Four is like right here. We can look at that. There's a difference between those two. I obviously don't read with this deck very much. It's kind of new. But regardless, yeah, here we go. So this is the Four of Pentacles energy versus the Six of Pentacles energy. They both are talking about the same thing, but one is more to do with relationships and one is more to do with yourself and your own security. So this is kind of like the flavor of Six of Pentacles within the context of like the Four of Wands. So like inner harmony and what you're holding on to, what keeps you safe, feeling safe. And the Six of Pentacles, this is going to reflect more on like what's fair. And if you're like looking too closely at the exchanges with other people, I mean, let's clarify this because it can go either way. And I don't tend to read reversals unless I like feel like I should. And this one is very different with what you're clarifying it with. So we have Death coming out to clarify the Six of Pentacles here. So you're entering a new cycle of how you evaluate, how you evaluate what's being given. There's Earth energy here. Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles both came out in this reading. And King of Pentacles came out when I was talking about entering a new stage, a new way of looking at exchanges. The phrase that's coming up is transactional relationships. So if you have felt like you have had specifically transactional relationships in the past where somebody's like, I'll do this for you, but only if you do this for me, or somebody will try to get the most out of you and do the least for you, that's that kind of energy. It's like you're moving away from that energy. If you have a Cancer rising, Pluto is, like a later Cancer rising, or even a Gemini rising, or no, would it be Leo? I think Leo. Leo rising and Cancer, depending on the degree. The Pluto Saturn stuff is affecting your 7th house. So this would be breaking down structures of transactional relationships, basically. And it's funny that I thought that was the 4 of Pentacles, but that was definitely purpose, because it's Capricorn energy. It's opposite. It's what's happening in the sign of Capricorn right now. So that's the little purpose of that. So we have the Fool. The Fool is a new beginning, just like I was saying. And I think with the 5 of Swords, the 5 of Swords to me is like a fight that's worth fighting most of the time, because it's like self-defense. So I think you're like kind of sticking up for yourself, which is something that isn't usually hard for Cancer placements to do, but you might have had like serious blocks in this respect in your life where you just haven't been able to stand up for yourself you haven't been able to stand up for yourself in these transactional, maybe a little bit like manipulative relationships, where either like, I think it's more so people doing it to you and then you maybe being toxic in response, or maybe not. Check out your other signs. I don't know, there's a couple different energies already that are coming out, but like Gemini, if you have any Gemini placements, that reading was talking about Gemini having to prove, something to their, you can watch it if it's relative to you, but for you guys, I feel like generally Cancer, like this isn't about you being the manipulative one. It's kind of like you're finally actually able to speak up, and I think that's something that you usually do. But with the Moon, it was like confusing and obscure, and just it wasn't a part of your vocabulary to really say, or at least you're at a higher stage. Like if you're like, you can recognize it better now than you ever have been able to, even if you were kind of communicating. Like it's like reflecting back on things that have happened in your relationships. Like it's kind of cloudy even for me when I'm thinking about it, which I think is just how you felt. Like it was like you get into these fights and it's just so complicated, every feeling and everything, and then the person's like, can you come up with an example of when I treated you that way? And you're like, no, I didn't write it down. Like I can't sit here, I'm just telling you that you made me feel that way. You know what I mean? It's not like you can sit there and be clear like the magician, but that power is coming to you. This power of communication is totally new, and having these in sequence, the Fool with the Magician here and with the Moon in the middle, you're ruled by the Moon, and so I think that the Moon has come around in some way to open things up and brighten up these like darker parts of your subconscious, or clear up confusion, and it's like you see it very clearly now, and in this way you're kind of empowered in yourself and in your security. With the 9 of Pentacles here, the 9 of Pentacles is just about you, and Pentacles talk about the 9 of Pentacles is like personal success, personal success, like very vividly just you. And it doesn't mean that you don't have other people around you, but it's like in this particular case, this is about you being able to say, I don't like that, and this is why, and I have clarity on this enough now to be able to talk about it and to be able to say. Yeah, it's like putting your foot down. The Emperor, Ace of Cups, and the Chariot. So the Chariot is a Cancerian card. Emperor is Aries, sometimes Capricorn. And this is immediately, like, the cards are moving into this energy of, like, so I always talk about this in the past because I'm just, I don't know, that's like what I default to, but because this is for February, I think this is something that's going to happen. In fact, I feel that very strongly. Like, if you feel really unclear and confused and you're in relationships where, like I said, like somebody will be like, oh, come up with an example, and you're like, I can't, but I feel this way, you know what I mean? I think that kind of energy is going to clear up, and you're going to reach this point where, like, people are disenfranchising you. It could be on a bigger scale, not just like in your relationships. This could be in your entire, like, we have relationships with everybody around us. We have relationships with institutions. So this could be on that scale too, where you're finally able to say, this isn't fair, and this is why, and this is how I've suffered because of it, and like this karma is kind of coming into balance. With the Six of Pentacles has scales in the drawing. So the Emperor is about structures, and that's why I say, like, this might be about institutions in your life more so, like, more than relationships, but also about relationships. I said that really stupid. Ace of Cups is, again, coming up over here. We have the Ace of Cups, and then we have Ace of Cups again. I love the Ace of Cups. This is, again, a new relationship. So the message here is clearly that there's a new relationship coming in. I think most of you are single. If not, this is a new relationship with yourself. Like, if you're already in a committed relationship with somebody that you don't plan on leaving, this is like a new relationship with yourself here, which makes the relationship easier and better in a lot of ways. And the Chariot is like moving forward. So I think if you are in a committed relationship and it's maybe not going the way that you wanted to, I think this could signify like a breakup, because you see potential in other places in your life. Not like you go straight into another relationship, but like just because you're like, you know, I can be treated better than this. Like, I'm okay with being alone for the time being. This new relationship, though, might be with somebody who kind of reflects your Cancerian qualities, but also has like a lot of earth in their chart because of the Queen and the King of Pentacles. And they're not together yet, but it's like interesting the way that this came out. Can't really see it, but this is the King of Pentacles here. This is the Queen of Pentacles over here, and right in the middle, like right in the middle in this spread, is the Ace of Cups. So it's like this, there might be an energy of somebody who's like, and we have the Lovers here too. This is like harmony and being brought together with your soulmate energy, that kind of thing. And yeah, we have, okay, so we have the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy, Knight of Wands, and the Tower. Commitment coming in really quickly, like really quickly. There's a little bit of fuzzy energy around this Hierophant. I'm gonna get some clarity on it, because I'm feeling like it's not just like commitment in the typical sense. Okay, so with the Five of Pentacles here, this is a breakup, and so a lot of you are gonna go through a breakup or be living through a breakup that already happened again. This is going to be a breakup for a lot of you, though. This is, the Knight of Rods is moving away, so this could be not moving like physically moving your house, but it's like moving away from somebody, and the Chariot is the same thing. Super like unemotive, really. Like the Wands is passionate, but it's not like the Knight of Cups where it's like emotional. It has a very specific energy. It's kind of like chaotic. And with the Five of Pentacles clarifying the Hierophant, this is like moving into loss, like a loss energy, and the Tower is typically breakup. So this is talking about a breakdown of a commitment that you previously had. This could just be with a friend. It's definitely not with a job, like quitting a job or something. This is totally talking about a relationship. This is a relationship all the way. So what's the outcome of this breakup? I think maybe you're seeing like somebody is treating you really badly. And I don't mean to laugh, like, yeah, I don't mean to laugh, but like I'm laughing because I think it's ridiculous how badly they're treating you and how you like suddenly realize it. It's like very fateful almost. I want to say that you're like, it's like you kind of pick up the strength that they were holding over you, and you walk away. Like you're like, you know, I hate the way that you're treating me, and like all of a sudden you have a voice to say it, and it's like you almost feel like annoyed with yourself. It's like a long time coming. King of Swords. This person could be an air sign that you're walking away from just because they're, I don't know, the King of Swords here is very cold. You don't really want to see King of Swords in your relationship unless it's like in a certain context. And the Ten of Wands is letting something go because it's overburdening you. This came out reversed, and I'm going to stick with that. Your intuition is telling you that, with the High Priestess here, that it's not worth it to keep going. With the Nine of Wands reversed, there's just nothing left. Like, the way that this person treats you is pretty horrible. It's not that they're, like, overtly abusive, but they are pretty inconsiderate about your feelings. And for some of you, this might not be a complete breakup, but I think there's some separation here. Even if you're like, say you're married and you've been married for like 10 years, like, you're going to separate for a while and get them to realize that this is not deserved. But I think for a lot of you, this is a serious and clean and clear-cut breakup that leads you into a new relationship. With the Ace of Cups, there's clearly like a new relationship energy, like it's already real in the astral. It's like already been put into motion. You just kind of need to get ready for it and cut things out. With the Queen of Swords, cut everything out that you wouldn't want there. Like, imagine your life with like your perfect relationship. Align with that life as closely as you can, just without the other person, if that makes sense. So we have King of Wands. This person's probably going to be a fire sign with like some earth energy to them. Maybe some, I think they're pretty balanced in terms of like their signage. Like I have almost like perfect 25, like little like 25% quarters of all the elements. And so I'll come up as like everything. And this person is coming up that way. They have a very dynamic energy. And they're striking me as Cancerian in the ways that like an earth sign and a fire sign can be. Like maybe they're like a cardinal fire sign with some earth energy. I don't know. But they're like kind of looking at you like you're for some of you, this is about them wanting to have kids with you, with the green dragon and the Empress here. But regardless, I mean, this is just going to bring you like so much happiness. With the Lovers and the Sun here, there's a couple in this version of the Sun, which is interesting. It's just, I mean, Leo energy. Yeah, this is clearly a new relationship that's brought in by you opening up these spaces in your life for this person to kind of walk into. It's like you're carving out the door in the right shape, and I think you can manifest exactly who you want this person to be. Maybe you already have. I think a lot of you already have idealized a person that you want to bring into your life, and you have a really good idea of like who they are and what they look like, and if not, you should. But I think that anything you've set into motion in the last year or so, like, even it's as little as saying, like, you're with your partner and you think, God, I wish that you were nicer. I wish that you like to cuddle more. I wish that you clean the dishes. Like, this person's gonna do things like that, and you've kind of like karmically earned it in a way by dealing with this previous energy. There's absolutely a new beginning coming in. I don't know how soon. I think for some of you guys it's different. It's like I said, I think you really have to like carve out a space for this person, like kind of actively align with exactly what you want to have. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm saying. There's I love when that happens. Judgment and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is like doing the work. This is burning away any excess. So taking literally everything. This is kind of hard work. The Eight of Pentacles is diligence and consideration. It's like you have to look at everything with a critical eye, and you have to decide what you want to take with you into this next phase. Let's do some angel answers cards. Let's do like 2, and then I'll give you advice, and then we will go our separate ways for the time being. Oh my god, I'm throwing things. I did that with the other deck too. Okay. Yeah, we have peaceful resolution and wait. So the peaceful resolution being the breakup that is happening with this other person. I think if you're thinking about your last breakup, and if it was like a year ago and you've been like preparing ever since to bring this person in, I think this is going to come in much sooner than if you're like breaking up with somebody now. But that's not to discourage you and to say just like stay with this relationship that you're in that isn't working, because like you're gonna have to wait a long time for. I don't think it's long at all. I think it's before the end of the year that a lot of you guys will see this relationship, and I'm thinking for a lot of you it's this summer, because there's a lot of summer energy here with the cups and the pentacles that are coming through. But yeah, it just says basically like wait. And this is totally in relation to your breakup. It's all about the timing of that. And the reading yesterday had kind of an air of like the same thing, like transactional relationships, but the breakup wasn't coming through. So if you've like recently decided that you're going to do that, maybe like within the last day or so, the energy has kind of changed. If that's something that you've already done, then I think maybe you're thinking more about that breakup now than you have like since it's happened, which is something weird that happens. It's like a delayed reaction. It happens to me sometimes where I'll do something and then I won't be able to think about it until like the stars align, and then I think about what happened and why it was like I can look at the effects basically. It's like I can't even think about it until I know that it's completely over. And I think that some of you guys have like moved into that energy like very recently. Maybe just even from this video, but I don't want to take that credit. It's definitely an entire journey to getting to that point where you can really reflect on something, and sometimes it's immediate, you know, especially if you've got like air in your chart. Okay, it says, when I lean toward love, I am led. So this is like an affirmation that you can use. You can see if that kind of invokes anything in you, like the imagery or the quote. When I lean toward love, I am led. Yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything more about that. I think it's like simplistic enough. Definitely related to your reading too. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It was really long. Came out really long, but I had a lot of fun doing this one. And I would love to hear if you want to share your experience with this reading, if it resonated with you, if you want to maybe subscribe so that you can see my future videos. If you have any requests, I would love to do them for you. I have so much fun doing these. And yeah, I would love to hear from you. I'll put my like email in the bio so that you guys can email me for private readings, or if you just don't want to publicly share like some anecdote about the reading, then I will happily discuss it with you on emails. That's like my favorite thing ever. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.